welcome to a very special production of Shakespeare's Macbeth. The OS players and friends are here today to take you on a theatrical adventure with a twist. You see, in this production, Red and Blue will be performing the roles of Macbeth and Macduff, respectively, acting to the nines. But for the rest of us, well, we're here to break them. Bits, props, jokes, jibes, anything is fair game in this, an internet production of a public domain play. So without further ado, let the curtain open on OSP's Macbeth. We are going to start where all great plays start. Act 1, Scene 1. Thunder and lightning. Enter 3 witches. When shall we 3 meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
Well, I can do next Tuesday, when the hurly-burly's done and the battle's lost and won.
That will be the set of sun.
Where is the place?
Upon the hearth.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come.
Already? That was me, sorry. Already?
Fuck you.
It's been 5 seconds.
Okay. Sorry, have we done I Come Grey Mulligan?
Yep.
Oh shit, so it's me holding stuff. Sorry. Bollocks calls!
And on!
Fair is
Found is fair!
the fucking
building!
yeah. They exit.
Not known for the pacing, the OSP players.
Act 1, Scene 2. Alarum within. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding captain.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the new estate.
Shit. So I'm lost in two. Oh, it's me. This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil, as thou dost leave it.
Doubtful! It stood! As two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke at their hearts. The merciless Macdonald worthy of the rebel fort, to that the multiplied villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles. Of kerns and yellow glasses is supplied, and fortune of his damned quarrel, smiling, showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution. Aha! Where am I up to? Like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave. Where then he shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops and fixed his head upon the battlement.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
As winds the sun gains his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders, so that the spring wind's comfort seemed to come. Discomfort swells as ever. Mark, King of Scotland, Mark no sooner justice had with valour armed, compelled these shipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord surveying vantage, with the furbished arms and new supplies of men, began afresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Aye, yes, as sparrows, eagles have the lion. If I were to sooth, I must report they were as cannons, overcharged with double cracks. So they redoubled strokes upon their foe, except they mean to bathe in reeking wounds, or memorize another Golgotha. By I cannot tell, but I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go! Get him surgeons!
The captain is led off by attendants. Enter Ross and Angus.
Who goes there? Who comes
The
here?
worthy Thane of Ross!
What a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king!
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king! Where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict that the Bellona's bridegroom leapt in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, pointed against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. Oh, and to conclude, the victory fell upon us.
Great happiness!
That now Sweno, the Norway's king, craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his mentally dispersed at St. Combs Inch. $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won. Yeah.
They
If I
exit.
could have done a David Schwimmer impression, I would have, but I can't.
Act 1, Scene 3. Enter, thunder, enter 3 witches.
Oh, crash. Oh, Jesus.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Aren't thee witch, the rump-fed Runyon cries. But her husband's to Aleppo gone, master o' the tiger. But in a sea vow thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou'rt kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know. I the shipman's card, I'll dry him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Weary several nights. 9 times 9. What is 9 times? No, that's not right. Shall he dwindle, peak and
81.
pine?
It's 81.
80,
Goddamn
81.
mathematician.
Mathematical.
Basic math I'm okay at.
It's okay.
Maths is the only magic
worry about
that's
it.
real.
It's not kind of you to bait me with this right now.
There's not like there's a math major here or anything.
Oh god, just get on with it, witches.
Yet it
You're
shall
surrounded by
come
mostly
to
English
toss.
majors.
Look what I have.
Oh, show me, show me.
Here I have the pilot's thumb. Wrecked as homeward.
How is he going to fly the plane then?
Poorly.
There's a drum within.
A drum! A drum! Macbeth doth come!
The
Sisters, hand in
hand,
in
hostess
hand,
of the sea.
Hostess of the sea and land!
Thus
do
do go about. Thrice the
thrice
time,
to
thrice
to mine, thrice to mine, and thrice again to make nine.
Charms
Peace! Charms wound up, wound up?
Wow.
The witches do not practice this very often, clearly.
Coming at you from the streets, yo! We can't be contained.
It's not like there's latency to...
Enter
Dismay us.
Just
Macbeth
keep it
and
real over here.
Enter Macbeth and Banquo.
Witches with a terrible sense of rhythm.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far it called to forests? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth. And yet, on it live you? Or are you aught that many may question? you may seem to understand me. By each at once her choppy finger lay upon her skinny lips. You should be woman, and yet your beard forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Your heteronormativity is really bringing me down.
What are you?
All hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
Oh, shit, I've lost the page.
Witchy line about destiny.
Thane of God.
17.
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth! That shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? I, the name of truth, are you fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
Haily Mary.
Hail and reign.
Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou have been none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief. No more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
Witches vanish.
Swoop. I can still see the fish.
Oh, they're gone!
Yeah, oh, whoa! Where? Someone should just put on glasses like Superman and they walk away, you know?
The earth has bubbles, and for water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king!
And you
And
get
Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words! Who's there?
Enter Ross and Angus.
The king hath happily received Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, all his wonders and his praises do content which should be thine or his. Silence of that in viewing o'er the rest of the selfsame day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death. As thick as tale came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
Oh, to give thee, our royal master, thanks, only to heal thee into his side, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee, Thane of Cawdor, which in addition, hail, hail, hail. Most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Ah, who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment, bears that life which he deserves to lose, whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, of that with both he labored in his country's right, I know not, but
treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown.
Basically, he's a fugly slut.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor.
Slay, bitch.
The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. With us, with honest trifles, to betrays in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look, how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him, like our strange garments. Cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered when every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us towards the king. Think upon what has chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to the other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
They exit. Act 1, Scene 4. Flourish. Enter King Duncan, Lennox, Malcolm, Donalbain, and attendants.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoken with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly, he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in this life became him like the leaving of it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the... lost my line.
Dearest.
To throw away the dearest thing. Blah, blah, blah. Became like him, leaving it. He died from the first death. Throw away the dearest thing, as twists a careless truffle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust.
Enter Macbeth, Banquo, Ross, and Angus.
O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, then the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe towards your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so, let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There! If I grow, the harvest is your own.
Oh, my plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our state upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not be unaccompanied, invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye winketh the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
He exits.
True, worthy Banquo. He is full, so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. What's after him, whose care has gone before to bid us welcome? It is a peerless kingsman.
Flourish. They exit. Act 1, Scene 5. Enter Macbeth's wife, alone, with a letter.
They met me in a day of success, and I have learned, by the perfect report, I have done more in them than mortal knowledge. And when I burnt and desired to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they just vanished. While I stood, wrapped in wonder of the cave missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters salute to me, referred to me by the coming of the time in which hail king thou shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou might not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart. Oh, and farewell. Glamis thou art in Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised, yet do I fear, by thy nature, it is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. That, oh, Jesus Christ, this line is long. What thou wouldst highly, that thou wouldst thou wholly, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'st have, great Glamis, that which cries thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou'st fear to do, thou wished should be undone. Hie hither, hither thee, thou I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue, or all that impedes thee from the golden round which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have crowded withal. Ah! What is your tidings? Oh no, sorry.
I've gotta sort through it, give me a sec.
You went through 3 Doctor Who regenerations there.
She's really the love of my life.
Next up, it's like I've given.
Do we have a messenger?
Still not ginger,
She loved
though.
my personality so much that I've given her 3. That's
she kind of has
that's
a bit
the
of
line.
a split personality, so sure.
A little ginger.
It's true. I should do it like.
The king comes here tonight.
Oh. Is not thy master with him, who weren't so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Ah! Give him tending. He brings
Messenger
great news. The raven himself is hoarse. That croaks that fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe. Top full of direst cruelty, make thick my blood, stop up their access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murderous ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait upon nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pull thee in the dumbest smoke of hell. that see my keen knife, see not the wounds it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, oh, hold, hold.
Enter Macbeth, please.
Oh, great Glamis! Were the Cardinal greater than both, and by all hail hereafter, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present. I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And what he goes?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall shall son that morrow see your face, my Thane. It is a book where men may read strange matters to beguile their time. Look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, in your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be a serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
They exit. Act 1, Scene 6. Hot boys and torches. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo, Lennox, Macduff, Ross, Angus, and attendants.
This castle this castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
The guest of summer, the temple-haunting Marlet, does approve by his love masonry that the heaven's breath smells swooningly here. No jutty frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle, where they most breed and haunt. I have observed the air is delicate.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God yield us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our service, in every point twice done and then done double, we're poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and late dignities heaped upon them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves. And what is theirs in come to make the order your highness's pleasure still to return on your own?
Give me your hand.
Taking her hand.
Conduct me to my house. We love him highly. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
I guess I'm all alone. I'm third wheeling. All right.
They exit. Act 1, Scene 7. Hot boys.
So Malcolm just stood there looking pretty that whole time, huh?
Yeah.
Me too.
Well,
Yeah.
I am also Angus, so
Yeah,
I was there twice.
And I'm just sitting there looking pretty.
Macduff
Also-
shows up to the castle and is not impressed.
Those hot boys, though.
Oh my god.
So hot.
So hot.
Act 1, Scene 7. Hot boys, torches, enter a sewer and divers, servants with dishes and service over the stage. Then enter Macbeth.
if it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surceased success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here upon this bank and shoal of time we jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commands the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
How now? What news?
You've almost supped. Why have you left chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have brought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which should be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk? Wherein you dressed yourself, has he slept since, and wakes it now to so green and pale? And what he did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same of thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have had that which thou esteem is the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like a poor cat of the adage.
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that make you bring this into press upon me? When you durst do it, then you were a man, and to be more than you were, you would be so much more than a man. You would look upon a woman, But you would be so much more. No time, no place did it here, and yet you would make both. They would make themselves in that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love that babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed his brains out, had I so sworn as you would have done to this.
If we should fail...
We fail? Failure is not an option. But screw your courage to your stinking place. We'll not fail when Duncan is asleep, where to the other shall his days hard journey suddenly invite him, his two chamberlains, with wine and with sail to convince that memory was the water of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason, Limebeck only. Wet and swinish sleep, their drenched natures lie as in a death, What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan, What not put upon his spongy offices? Who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men-children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood the sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers, that they have done it?
Oh, mate, who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and claim a roar upon his death?
I'm settled and bent up, each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Bum, bum. Act 2, Scene 1. Enter Banquo and Fleance, with a torch before him.
How does the night go, boy? How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down, Papa. I have not heard the clock.
Well, then fucking look again.
Papa? That's a bad word.
Already?
Oh, go. Are we not? I'm sorry,
Money
boy.
in the swear jar.
Sorry.
A quarter, Papa. A quarter for you.
Oh, I shall toss a quarter there within the swear jar, and she goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, sir. Papa, sir. Pa.
Hold! Take my sword.
He gives his sword to Fleance.
And my bow.
And my axe.
And my
There's
swear jar.
husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out.
Oh.
Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain me in the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose.
Enter Macbeth and a servant with a torch.
Give me my sword. Well, who's there?
Here, Papa.
A friend.
Oh, what, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. You hath been in unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal. By the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
He gives Macbeth a jewel.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you, they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we
Oh.
can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words to that business if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Banquo and Fleance exit. Goodbye, Papa.
Go bid thy mistress when my drink is ready. She strike upon the bell. Get thee to
We
bed.
go get some milk.
Ooh,
Servant
she needs
exits.
some milk.
Is this a dagger I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, of false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which I now draw.
He draws his dagger.
Thou marshallest me the way that I was going. Such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade indulgent gouts of blood which were not so before. There's no such thing. It is this bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now over the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch, thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides, towards his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm-set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from this time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives.
A bell rings.
Ding! I go. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
He exits.
Sure, we'll be fine.
This is a cat I see before me. The paw toward my dagger.
I'm sorry.
No, that was great.
Just do it! The show.
Act 2, Scene 2. Enter Lady Macbeth.
That's what makes me drunk, eh? Has made me bold. Woohoo! That's what quencheth me, have given me fire. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that shrieks that fatal bellman which gives the stuns good night. He is about it, the doors are open, the surfeited grooms do not mock their judge with snores. I have drugged their pulsets, their death and nature do contend with them, whether they live or die. Hey.
Who's there? What ho?
Ah! Alack! I am I'm afraid they have awakened, huh? And it is not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid the daggers ready, huh? He could not miss them had he not resembled my father as he slept. I had done it.
Enter Macbeth with bloody daggers.
My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the howl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Yeah.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Brain!
This is a sorry sight.
Foolish sort to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder. Then they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lots together.
One cried God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear. I could not say amen when they did say God bless.
Consider it not deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought about after these ways. So it will make us mad.
I thought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more! Macbeth does murder sleep! The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast."
What do you mean? What?
Still it cried, "Sleep no more!" to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy thing, do you unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things? Go get some water, why did you bring these daggers? Wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Oh, God. Infirm with purpose. Okay? Give me the daggers. Give me them. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, he bleed. I'll gild the faces of the grooms with all, for it must seem their guilt.
She exits with the daggers. Knock within.
Whence that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are these? They pluck out mine eyes. Will Ogrin's Neptune's oceans wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. Retire. Yeah. At the south entry. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy has left you unattended. God, More knocking. Get in your fucking nightgown. Lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Best be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 3. Knocking within. Enter a porter.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turned in the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? In the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins enough about you. Here you sweat for it. Knock, knock, who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator that could swear in both of the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator.
Just open the fucking door.
Knock, knock, I got a thing to say. I got a whole spiel. Who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor. Oh, the Brits. Come hither for stealing of a French hose. That means multiple things, I think.
Ooh, spicy.
Come in, Taylor. Here you may roast your goose. Wink. Knock, knock, never act quiet. Where are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to let in some of all the professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon.
The porter opens the door to Macduff and Lennox.
I pray you remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him, and it mars him. It sets him on, and it takes him off. It persuades him, and disheartens him. Makes him stand, and not stand too. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I think that was more than 3 things.
I believe drink gave thee the
Numbers
lie
is not my
last
specialty.
night.
Regardless, this porter's speaking facts.
No one here's specialty is numbers. We all know that.
No one.
Greatest.
No one on this call is good at math. Yes, sir.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometime, yet I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring?
Enter Macbeth.
Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Bye.
Porter exits.
I don't know where I'm going. I think this is the place I'm supposed to be working. but
Anywhere
okay.
else.
You're too hungover for this shit.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Macduff exits. Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard ere the air. Strange screams of death and prophesying, saying with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events. New hatch to the woeful time, the obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
And next,
I
the
am
weather.
It was a rough night.
And now sports. Shakespeare.
What could
Was a rough
possibly have
night.
gone wrong?
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! Horror! Horror!
Excuse
Tongue
you?
nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the
What's
matter?
the matter?
Oh, confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Oh, sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple, and stole thence the life of the building.
Who
What
killed
did
the
you say?
building?
The life?
Mean you, His Majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves.
Macbeth and Lennox exit.
Awake, awake, ring the alarum bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself! Up, up, and see the great doom's image! Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
Bell
Fuck.
rings.
Ding
Ring a
dong,
ding a ding ding
dong,
ding dong.
ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
Oh no! What's the business? Oh, that's such a hideous trumpet calls to parley. Oh, the sleepers of the south. Oh, no, speak, speak.
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell.
Enter Banquo.
Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered!
Oh, whoa, alas! What in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Macduff, I prithee, this doesn't sound too much like a comedy like was advertised. Contradict thyself, and say it is not so.
Enter Macbeth, Lennox, and Ross, fans of false advertising.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
Enter Malcolm and Donalbain.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh! By whom? It's my only line. Give me.
Oh, sorry.
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood, so were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them. And for more on this story, check back in at the 6 o'clock news. That's a thing in Scotland and whenever this is.
Over to Carrie with the weather.
Yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outran the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature from ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make his love known?
Help me! Oh, help me! It's all.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for hours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate, hidden in auger hole, may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon our foot of motion.
Look to the lady.
Lady Macbeth is assisted to leave.
And when we have our naked frailties hid, that suffer in exposure let us meet, and question this most bloody piece of work. To know it further, fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Oh, way ahead of you, Macbeth.
What will you do?
Well,
let's not fuck with them.
all but Malcolm and Donalbain will exit.
Oh, sorry. Jumped the gun there. To show
he
an
did it.
unfelt sorrow is an office building, which the false man does essay. All to England.
To Ireland, aye. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft, that shot, hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, to horse. And let us not be dainty of leave-taking. We gotta bounce, yo. But shift away. There's warrant in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left. I rhymed the crime.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 4. Enter Ross with an old man.
Threescore 10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen. Oh, God. Hours dreadful and things strange, but this night hath trifled for my knowings.
Ha! Good father, thou seest the heavens, as troubled with man's act threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. Is it the night's predominance or the day's shame that darkness does the face of earth entomb when living light should kiss it?
That is unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towing her pride of place, was a mousing out, hooked, and killed it.
Ew, and Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain. Beauteous and swift, the minions of their race turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
Gross.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it.
Enter Macduff.
Ooh, here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed? Give me the hot
Those
goss.
that Macbeth hath slain.
Oh no.
Alas the day! What good can they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stole away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
'Gainst nature still! Thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Ooh, where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone? They make great
No.
scones.
It's pronounced
No.
scone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I
No.
wanted my joke regardless.
No.
Scones?
No,
Nope.
no, cousin, all to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you and those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
Well, Act 3, Scene 1.
God, I thought I was done with Banquo.
Enter Banquo.
Oh, sir.
Soon,
we're
my
done
friend.
with
Fear
Banquo.
not. I'll free thee.
Neither is Macbeth. Plot twist.
Lower my chair so I can get in frame.
Oh, that's better.
There we go.
Wiggle, 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 yeah.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promise, and I fear thou playest most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root of father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities of thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope. But hush, no more.
Senate sounded. Enter Macbeth as king, Lady Macbeth, Lennox, Ross, lords and attendants.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had not been forgotten, it had been a gap in our great feast. Yeah, has all become unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous, in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as we'll fill up the time, twixt this and supper. Go not, my horse, the better I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their heroes with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when wherewithal we shall have cause of state crazing us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my lord, and this red shirt I wear, our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so do I commend you to their backs. Farewell.
Banquo exits.
Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time, alone. While then, God be with you.
Lords and all but Macbeth and a servant exit.
Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure?
They are, my lord, without the palace gates.
Bring them before us.
Okay, servant exits.
To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet-like they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind, for them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the lists and champion me to the utterance. Who's there?
And
are we learning that Macbeth does not fuck?
Enter servant and
I give him all the chances.
And 2 murderers. To the servant.
It's the ghost of I told you so.
Now go to the door and stay there till we call.
Servant exits.
Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you, how you were borne in hand, How crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion crazed say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I can't do that.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue you go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrel spaniels, curs, shuffs, waterlugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he doth receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike. And so of men. Now if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I, another, so weary with disasters, tagged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on't.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not.
Bear, yes.
For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Through our lives.
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight, and something from the palace. Always, though, that I require a clearness, and with him to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within.
Murderers exit.
Are we getting paid for this?
I don't think so.
Also, the murderers have a better, cooperation on how they're saying things at the same time than the witches do. They've got better rhythm. Just
There's
saying.
33% less of us.
Of course, they're murderers.
We're in the
They
same
have to be
time
clean.
zone. Maybe it's just sounding slightly easier.
Oh.
It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find out tonight.
He exits.
What did I say? Was it all the advice I gave?
It's the hat.
Act.
You're banging too much, Banquo. Got too many sons.
It's because you fuck, he's jealous.
Act 3, Scene 2. Enter Macbeth's lady and a servant.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king, I would attend his leisure, for a few words.
Madam, I will. He exits.
Nought's hand all spent, where our desires got without content. 'Tis safer to be which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, brown cow, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We've scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy. Nothing can touch him further.
Come now, my gentle lord. Sleek over your rugged looks, be bright and jovial amongst your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our favors in these flattering streams and make our face vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this. Leave.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance live.
Papa, get the bug spray.
Oh, well, hang on, that's me. But in the nature's copy, not a turn.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable, though they be jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What is to be done? What is to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill, so prithee, go with me.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 3.
Oh, if you did things as much as you acted. More than king.
Enter 3 murderers.
Ooh, now there's 3.
Yeah, where'd the extra murderer come from?
It's a
But
bonus
who
one.
did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
Oh no, I think he's taking it very seriously.
It's a special surprise tool to help you later.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices, and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spur the latest chime apace to gain the timely inn, and, near perches, the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light there, ho!
That's a weird horse.
Oh.
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of... A horse, he said a horse! The rest that are within the note of expectation, already in the court.
His horses go about their daily business.
Nay.
Almost a mile, but it does usually, as all men do, from thence to the palace gate, make it their
Enter
walk.
Banquo and Fleance with the
I
torch.
feel like we're on 2 very different, zones here.
I'm getting paid, are you getting paid?
You can tell he's a Capricorn.
You're getting paid? A light.
To see.
Oh, shoot.
Stand to tits.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
3 murderers attack.
Crap! I wasn't expecting to be murdered tonight. It was having treachery! Fly, good flames! Fly! Thou mayst revenge, slave!
He dies. Fleance exits.
Why are your children so quick?
Who did strike out the light?
'Twas not. 'Tis tit not the way.
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and just said we did it.
They exit.
It's only
This is why I'm
maybe
the
a
one getting
problem.
paid.
Act 3, Scene 4. Banquet prepared! Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords, and attendants.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
They sit.
Thanks to your majesty.
Thanks to your majesty.
Thanks to
Ooh,
your
none of us are ready.
Oh, I'm not a lord.
That's
Thanks,
everyone.
Majesty. Thanks, dude.
All you, dog.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Ugh. Pronounce it for me, sir, to all your friends, for my heart speaks that they are welcome.
Enter first murderer to the door.
See, they
Hello,
encounter
murderer.
thee with their hearts' thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst, be large in mirth. Anon will drink a measure, the table round.
He approaches the murderer.
There's blood upon thy face.
Oh, sorry.
'Tis Banquo, then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut.
Aye. That I did for him. He asked me to.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats.
Kinky.
Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the non-pareil.
Most royal sir, Flint's is skipped.
Did he just call you a sprinkle?
There comes
take
my
that?
fit again. I had
Bit of
else
a
been
sponge.
perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am combined, cribbed, confined, bound in to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my lord, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trench gashes upon his head, the least death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the groans,
You're
serpent
welcome.
lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
Okay, but
Murderer
bone, not venom.
exits.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold. 'Tis given the welcome, and to feed were best at home. From thence the source to meet a ceremony. Meeting were beer without it.
Enter the ghost of Banquo and sits in Macbeth's place.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please to your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What?
My good
Lord.
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full.
Enter ghost.
I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss, would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and
Our
the
Duties
and
and
the
the
flesh.
They raise their drinking cups.
Avaunt and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this. Good, peers? But as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasures of time.
What man dare? I dare! Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the Hyrcan tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit, then protest me the baby of a girl. Heads, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery,
Ghost
heads!
exits.
Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still.
Ah, you've displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with the most admired order.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Questions enrage him at once. Oh, good night, stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health, attend his majesty.
A kind good night to
Lords
all.
and all but Macbeth and Lady Macbeth exit.
I'm taking the drinks with me.
Shuffling off.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and chuffs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Get your maggot pies here.
What is
Lovely
it?
maggots.
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good all causes shall give way. I am in blood steeped in so far, that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go over. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
Ah, you lack all the seasons of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young and
They exit.
Because you don't fuck.
We could! Maybe we do!
Good time to come.
Act 3, Scene 5. Thunder. Enter 3 witches meeting Hecate.
Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening.
Galileo.
Why, how now, Hecate? You look angrily.
Have I not reason? Balloons as you are, saucy and overboard. How did you dare to trade and traffic
So much to
with
do with his
Macbeth,
voice.
and riddles and affairs of death, and I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of hearts, was never called to bear my part, or show the glory of our art. And what is worse, all you have done, have been before a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who as others do, loves for his earnings, not for you. But makes amends now, get you gone, and at the pit of Asheran, meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vassals and your spells be provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon upon the corner of the moon. There hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it here come to ground. On that the stained by magic sluts shall swathe such artificial spreads as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes of wisdom, grace, and fear. And your honor, security, is mortal's chiefest enemy.
Music and a song.
Hark! I am called, my little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me. Come around, come around.
Come, let's make haste. She'll be back again soon. Soon be back again. Soon she'll be returning.
And also the second witch was here.
You have no proof I was here.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 6. Enter Lennox and another lord. My former speeches have but hid your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitted of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late. Whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight, in pious rage, the two delinquents tear? That were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep. Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too. For 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say, he has borne all things well, and I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as an't please heaven he shall not, they should find what 'twere to kill a father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from broad words, and 'cause he failed, his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear, Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself? What's the word on the street?
The son of Duncan, from what his tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in England court and is received. This is what it feels like when you guys do this accent. Of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake up Northumberland and warlike Swinard. That, by the help of these, and with him above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep, and to our nights we shall shite. Free from all our feasts and banquets, bloody knives do faithful homage and receive free honors. Get your free honors over here, we're just giving them away. All which we pine for now, this report hath so exposumate the king that he prepares it for some attempted war.
And sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute "Sir, I did not I," the cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums as should say, "You'll rule the time," that clogs me with the answer.
And that well might advise him to a caution to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country, under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him. I'll say, Lord Jesus, give him your prayers and you take him into your bosom.
Amen!
Now back to the studio. Act 4, Scene 1. And thunder. Enter 3 witches.
Ka-chow.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice counts a motherfucker and wants the Hegwig whined.
Hegwig, hop your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails
Where we
throw.
stop, no one knows.
Toad under that cold stone. Days and nights and 31. Sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot. The witches circle the cauldron.
Double!
Double! Fire burn, cauldron bubble. For filet mignon of fenny snake in the cauldron, boil and bake. Eye of newt and camel toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fort and blind world sting where the well-visioned worm is not to be seen. A lizard's leg and owlet wing for a charm of powerful trouble. I've given up rhyming. Like the hell broth boil and bubble. There's the rhyme.
Double!
Double! Fire!
Bubble! Scale of dragon. Scale of dragon. Tooth of wolf. Witch's mummy. Maw and gulf. Of the raven, salt sea shark. Root of hemlock digged in the dark. Liver of okay. Gall of goat and slips of ewe. Slivered in the moon's eclipse. Nose of Turk and Tartar's lips. Finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's children for the ingredients of a cauldron.
Double! I've lost it, sorry.
Oh boy.
Worst choir ever.
Cool it! With a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good.
Enter Hecate to the other three witches.
What up, Hecate?
Ooh!
Oh, well done. I command your praise, and everyone shall share in the games. And now about the cauldron singing, like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
Music cannot be found.
Hecate exits.
Wow.
By the spanking of my bum, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
Enter Macbeth.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is't you do?
Rude.
Hag?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, however you come to know it. Answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to the foundations, though the treasure of nature's germans tumble altogether, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand!
Will answer.
Say if thou hadst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call them. Let me see them.
Poor and so's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh grease that sweeten. From the murderer's gibbet, is it gif or gif? Whatever. Throw into the flame.
Come
high or low.
Thyself and
of
this
deathly
show.
Thunder.
We got that in the end.
First apparition. An armed
wisdom,
head.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dis mis me inorg.
He descends.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first. Thunder, second apparition, a bloody child.
Macbeth!
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
He descends.
Then live, Macduff! What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies and sleep in spite of thunder.
Thunder. Third apparition. A child
And for the-
crowned with a tree in his hand.
For the record, birth, but woman born specifically means coming out of the vagina.
What is this that rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak.
Not
to it.
point.
Sister, we're slacking.
Be
was distracted by the little king.
proud and take no care. Who chafes, who frets, and where conspirators are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnham Wood to high Dunsdane Hill shall come again to him.
He descends.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good. Rebellious dead rise never till the wood of Burnham rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issues ever reign in this kingdom?
One.
Seek to know.
No.
Seek to. Why are you
to
counting
know
us
no
off?
more.
You've never counted this down before. Seek to know no more.
I don't know what.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Cauldron sinks. Hot boys.
Hot
Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show.
Show!
Show! Are you
One,
counting us down? Okay.
2, 3. Show
his
eyes and grieve his heart.
Come
like
shadows
shadows
to depart.
Nothing comes like a shadow.
The witches never of one mind.
A show of 8 kings, the 8th king with a glass in his hand, and Banquo last.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown doth sear my eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-brown brow is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth? Start, eyes! What, will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a 7th? I'll see no more. And yet the 8th appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more, and some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his.
The apparitions disappear.
What, is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay. Music. The witches dance and vanish.
Where are they gone? Let
To
this
the club.
pernicious
To
hour
the
stand aye accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
Enter Lennox. Shit.
Lennox,
What's your grace's will?
saw you the weird sisters.
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of a horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Oh no, she's
Fled
the
to
TikTok
England?
voice.
Aye, my lord.
TikTok voice.
Time. Thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose ne'er is overtook unless the deed go with it. From this moment the very firstlings of my hand shall be the firstlings of my heart. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are the gentlemen? Come bring me where they are.
They exit.
Macduff fucks.
Act 4, Scene 2. Enter Macduff's wife, her son, and Ross.
Only Macduff's wife fucks.
Oh no.
My main competition.
Well, only Macduff's wife has a son. It says so right there.
Does Macduff not?
It says Macduff's wife, her son.
Yeah, they're never
Got me
named.
there.
Whoa.
What had he done to make him fly to land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom, to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his title in a place from whence he does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the fowl, the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom, where's the flight, so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season.
Well, then you marry him.
I can't. I dare not speak much further. But cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. When we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and move. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he is fatherless. Ratio.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer? It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I should take my leave at once.
Ross exits.
Bye!
Sierra, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mummy.
What, with worms and flies?
Daddy, with what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor birds. Thou'dst never fear the net nor lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mummy? Poor birds, they do not sad for.
Still you.
Oh, my father's not, my daddy's not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he's dead.
Daddy, no! Daddy!
You'll get over it. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy them and sell them again, you slut!
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet I, faith, with wit enough for thee. Ooh.
Was my daddy a traitor, mother?
Yes.
Oh!
Aye, that he was.
He's speechless.
What is a traitor then? Can we redefine it?
Why, one that swears and lies.
Oxford Dictionary defines traitor.
Be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And they all must be hung? And that swear and lie?
Listen, don't get smart with me. Everyone!
Are you reconsidering last night there?
Who must hang them then?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and the swearers are fools! For there are liars and fucking swearers enough to beat me or beat the honest men and hang them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
Oh, I love it when you call me monkey. If he were dead, and I'm not saying he is, if he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign I should quickly have a new daddy.
Poor prattler, now thou talkest.
I know you are, but what am I?
Enter a messenger. Just one moment here. Gotta scroll through. There's a lot of correspondence going around Scotland these days. Lots. God damn it. Just hold on. For a sec.
I didn't realize Scotland could read.
Oh.
Wow.
Just hold for a sec. There's a lot of things. Alright, bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does not approach you nearly if you will take a homely man's advice. Be not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you thus methinks I am too savage, to do worse to you where fell cruelty, which is too nigh to your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer. Messenger exits.
Where should I fly? I've done no harm. I remember now I am in this early world, where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometimes accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up with that womanly defense to say I have done no harm?
Enter murderers.
What are these faces?
Oh, where is your husband? Where am I, murderer?
Oh no.
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Now shut up, I'm about to say the play's best line. Thou liest, thou shag-eared villain! Oh, am I? Is it? What?
Murderers.
It just says murderer.
It's a different murderer entirely.
Oh,
This play has a lot of murderers.
A fourth.
Oh, okay.
Who was
Do you know who the murderer is?
I am apparently murderer in the thing.
Okay, alright, go murderer.
Go.
Okay. He's a traitor! No, sorry, what, you egg?
I hire only the best.
He needs a website.
Stabbing him.
Oh, young fry of treachery!
He has killed me, mommy!
You keep going.
Run away, I pray you!
Lady Macduff exits crying murder, followed by the murderers bearing the son's body.
Oh no!
I guess I'm just fucking dead now.
Yes.
Don't worry, the murderer's got you. Your mom's dead.
I was saying all this after I was stabbed.
It's very Shakespearean.
Yeah, it's
Drama doesn't
classic.
stop.
Like
just if
being
you got a little
stabbed in
flesh.
Shakespeare is actually just like imposing a soliloquy on you.
Yeah, there's several plays where they'll say, "Alas, I'm dead." And that's just to let the groundlings know that the character died.
Act
You get
4.
stabbed and the spotlight immediately snaps to you.
Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Malcolm and Macduff.
Ooh, let us seek some desolate shade, and there weep our sad boobies empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword and, like good men, bestride our downfall and birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland, and yelled out like syllable of dolor.
What I believe, I'll well, except I won't, because I just did that bit. Will what no believe,
and what I can redress. And I shall find time to friend you on Facebook. I will! What you have spoken, it may be so. Perchance, this tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongue, was once though honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched himself yet, or you. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up weak, poor, innocent lamb. TP's an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. What which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even where I did find my doubt, why, in that rawness left by lack of lube and your wife and child, those precious motives, those strong knots of alphas and omegas of love, without leaving taking, I pray you, let not my jealousness be your dishonors, but mine own selfies. You may be rightly just whenever I shall think.
Yeah, you ditched your kid.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy base ashore, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, lord. I would not be the villain that thou think'st for the whole space that is in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. I'm turning into William Shatner. It weeps, it bleeds. In each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think, withal, there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England I offer of godly thousands. But for all of this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, I shall step on him, or wear it as my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before. They're furries now. More suffer and more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice grafted, that when I shall be opened like Macbeth shall see pure as so, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb being compared with my countless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
Who shall top Macbeth, I say? I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin imaginable that has a name. But there's no bottom for the top. None in my voluptuousness. Oh my. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, your maids could not fill up the cistern of... Is that a toilet? The cistern of my lust and my desire. All content implements would, be that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such wanterrain.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With thee there grows an Irish now in the most ill-composed affections, such a staunchiness advice that I, were I king, I should not cut off the nobles from their lands, despite the jewels and this other house, and more having would be a source. to have me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious roots than summer-seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Do not fear, Scotland hath foisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The kin becomes the graces, and justice, free, temperance, stableness, bounty, preservatives, mercy, lol. I don't know what I'm doing now. I've transformed into Scottish, I guess. Lowlands, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but bound in the division of each several crime. Acting, I don't even know what's happening now. Acting in many ways, nay, I have the para. I should pour the sweet milk of the concord into hell. Uproar! The universal peace confound all unity on the earth. Please let Malcolm be done soon. I've lost the plot.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is such a one be fit to govern speak? For I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live!
Not even fit to have an accent.
Oh, nation miserable with an untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again, since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed? The royal father was a most sainted king, the queen that bore thee oftener upon her knees praying than on her feet, died every day she lived.
If you say so.
It says in the text notes, fare thee well. The evils thou repeatest upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland.
Saying God.
O my breast, thy hope ends here.
Make sure you left on your own.
Macduff, his noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy God, to find honour. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous hate. But God above deal between thee and me, and for even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction, I think. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself. For strangers to my nature, I am yet unknown to woman.
So
You never know. And I totally want to get laid before prom. Never has forsworn. Scarcely have coveted what was mine own, and took. Time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself: I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whether indeed before thy here approach, old Swinward with 10,000 warlike men, already to a point, was settled forth now, will together, and the chance of goodness, be our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
He fell asleep.
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Enter a doctor.
Well, Watermon, comes the king forth, I pray you.
Aye, sir. There are a crew of wretched souls that stay his cure. The malady convinces the great essay of art, but at his touch, such sanctity hath heaven given his hand, they presently amend.
Oh, I thank you, Doctor.
Doctor exits.
What's the disease he means?
'Tis called the evil. A most miraculous work in his good king, which often, since my here remain in England, I have seen him do. How he solicits heaven, himself best knows. What strangely visited people, all swole and ripped and uncursed. What are the words of these things? Pitiful to the eye. The mere despair of surgery he curs, hanging a golden stamp upon their necks. Oh, put upon with holy prayers, and 'tis spoken to the succeeding royalties he leaves. The healing benediction with this strange virtue, he has a heavenly gift of all prophecies, and sundry blessings hang about his throne, and speak him full of grace.
Enter Ross, please.
See, who comes there?
I've never spoken so much in my life.
Oh, buddy, you're not done.
Do it again, buddy. Your job.
Malcolm was just standing there until now. What happened?
It's you, buddy. It's you. It's your turn.
I don't want to anymore. My countrymen, but yet I know him not.
My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. I know him now. Good God, bedtime remove. The means that makes us strangers. Well, are we going to sleep together?
Sir, amen.
Amen, girl.
Stands Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marked. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is there scarce asked for who. And good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
Oh, relation too nice and yet too true.
What is the newest grief? Do we have another Prime Minister?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. So yes, each minute teams a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well?
And all my children?
Definitely not dead. Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace?
Shockingly, no. They were well at peace when I did leave them. It would be really bad if, that happened as soon as I left.
Be not a miser of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of, many fellows that were out, which was, to my belief, witness the rather for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses. Girl power.
Woo!
BT their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Switzerland, and 10,000 men, an older and better soldier none, that Christendom puts out.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing would not latch them.
What concerned they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is the prize, your wife and babe savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner, we're on the quarry of these murdered dear to add the death of you.
Fucking hell, what man nearer pull your hat upon your brows, give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the oe-fraught heart and bids it break.
My children, too?
Did I fucking stutter? Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence.
You just said they were fun.
I literally just said your wife.
My wife killed too?
Literally I just said that. I have said it.
Be comforted. Let's make medichlorians with our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones?
Yes.
Did you say all?
Multiple times.
Hellkite, all!
Mm-hmm.
What? All my pretty chickens ends their dam at one fell swoop.
I don't know if you killed the chickens or not, actually.
Dispute it like a man, you beta cuck.
I shall do! But first, I must also feel it. As a man.
Gross.
I cannot but remember such things that were more precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, spurt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the wound with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue. But, gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bing thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him, too.
Front to front is called docking.
Oh no, bitch.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king, our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for the shanking, and the powers above put on their trousers and instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The light night is long and full of terrors that never finds a day.
They exit.
Got my sword. Oh yeah.
Act 5, Scene 1. Enter a doctor of physic and a waiting gentlewoman.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, I don't know why I need to be very specific about this, read it, afterwards seal it, and then again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone. Having no witness to confirm my speech, you totally won't believe me.
Enter Lady Macbeth with a taper. Tapper?
Let's get the shit out of me!
This is her very days. You're putting my life fast. Fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
I think that's me.
Oh God!
Great though, great performance.
Yeah, that's still my line, my dude.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I just had a moment of deja vu. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise. And upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stands close.
How came she by that ring she has in her hand? And which
Is
she
that
says
really the
precious,
first
precious?
question you're asking me? Is where the fuck she got a candle? Why? It stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Yes, I've got eyes too. Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her to continue in this quarter of an hour.
Yes. Here's the sprat. Here's the sprat.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out! Out, damned sprat, I say you! Now, 1, 2, waiting. 'Tis time to do hell is murky. Fine! No, my
Lord Fire, soldier in the field. Why, we need who knows it we name control our power to account. Yet who would have thought that the old man to have had so much blood in him?
You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Thane of Fife has a wife. Where is she now? What, will these hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You marrow this with the starting.
Go to. You have none what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known. It's almost like she committed a crime.
There's the smell of blood still. Oh, the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this hand. Oh, oh, oh!
Oh, what a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands, put on another, look not so pale. I tell you again, give Banquo's bill. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so.
Too bad, precious. Now, there's no king at the gate. Come, I know a way into Mordor. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to heal up, to bed.
Lady Macbeth exits.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do bring unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divines than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove her from the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So, good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 2. Drum and Colors. Enter Menteith, Caithness, Angus, Lennox, and soldiers.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burning them, for their dear causes would go to the bleeding, and the grim alarm excites the mortified man.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Lots of characters.
Shall we meet again? That way, the way they are, that way are they coming?
Like, who knows, my dude, if Donabane be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is Seward's son, and many unruffed youths that even now protest their first of manhood.
What does the tyrant?
Great done, what's his name? He's strongly fortified. Like, say he's mad, others that lesser hate him. Do it to valiant fury or something, man, I don't know. But for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
No does he fiel is secret murders, striking on hin hands. Our inutely evolves per braid is eighth reach. Hose a man's of nly amand. Nothing of our as if
Having a stroke? What's
is
happening?
idle and us.
His internet connection is really terrible.
I Iron's ob pon Warfish Hife.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil, and start when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there?
Well, float on, my guy. To give obedience where is truly owed. Meet with the Medkin of the sticky wheel, and with him pour in the country's purge, each drop on us.
Or so much as it needs. To do the sovereign flower and drown the weeds, make we our march towards Burnham. They exit, marching.
What a completely necessary scene!
Act 5, Scene 3. Enter Macbeth, the doctor, and attendants.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all, till Burnham would remove to Dunsinane I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth, no man that's born of woman shall e'er have power over thee. Then fly, false Thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear.
Enter servant.
The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon! Where goest thou that goose look? Well?
Man was too stunned.
10,000.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see my X there. Here there is 10,000.
Geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface?
The English, for so please you.
Take thy face hence.
Servant exits.
Satan! I'm sick at heart when I behold Satan, I say! His push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I've lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sere. The yellow leaf and that which should accompany old age is honor, love, obedience, troops of friends. I must not look to have, but in their stead curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Satan!
Enter Satan.
What is your name? What is your quest? And what is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet, you look great.
I'll put it on! Send out more horses, scur the country round, hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic
So
to
far,
the
mental
dogs.
health awareness.
I'll none of it. Come, put my armor on. Give me my staff.
Attendants begin to arm him.
Satan, send out. Doctor, the Thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch, if thou couldst. Doctor, cast the water of my land. Find her disease and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Put off, I say. What rhubarb, senna, or a purgative drug would scour the English hence? Hearest thou of them?
Aye, my good lord. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death or bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Foy, were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
They exit. Drum and colors. Enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, Seward's son, Menteith, Caithness, Angus, and soldiers marching.
Cousins! Oh god, that was my light. Okay, well, have to deal with that later. I hope the days are near at hand. The chambers will be safe.
We doubt if nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him a bow, and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery in report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting down before it.
Tis his main hope, for where there's advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, which is, we've got a revolt for you right here. And none serve him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
It's an internship, actually.
Of the time approaches, that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts, speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the
They
war.
exit marching.
Looking amazing.
Act 5, Scene 5. Enter Macbeth, Satan, and soldiers with drum and colors.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backwards home.
A cry within of women.
What is that noise?
What does it fucking sound like? It's the cry of women, my good lord.
He exits.
I have almost forgotten the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir, as life were in it. I've supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me.
Enter Satan.
Wherefore was that cry?
The Queen, my lord, has fucking snaffed it.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, as the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Enter a messenger.
Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Patience. We get a lot of mail here.
It's not like there's a fucking war going on.
You know what? It's not even in
Need a
dispatch.
marching
I'll
band
just
song.
say what I remember. Gracious my lord, I should report that which what I saw, I say, I saw, I saw, I say, I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked towards Burnham, and not me thought, the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath, if not be so. Within this 3 mile you may see it coming, I say, Moving Grove.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane. Arm it out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the state of the world were now undone. Ring the alarum bell! Blow wind, come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 6. Drum and colors. Enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, and their army with bows.
Now near enough, Bulbasaur! Use leafy screens, throw down and show like those you are. You, worthy nuncle, you shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle, worthy Macduff, and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our order.
Fear you well do we, but we find the tyrant's power tonight. Let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They exit. Alarums continued. Act 5, Scene 7. Enter Macbeth.
They've tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear or none.
Enter young Seward.
What is thy name?
Thou'st be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a harder name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce the title. More hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest! Abhorrent I actually don't know the rest of that song. Abhorrent tyrant, with my sword I'll prove the lie thou speak.
They fight, and young Seward is slain.
Clank, 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 clank.
Thou wast born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
He exits. Alarums. Enter Macduff.
That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face! If thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghost will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again, undeeded. There thou shouldst be. By this great clatter, one of greatest note seems rooted. Let me find him, fortune, and more I beg not.
He exits. Alarums.
He's so moved.
I forgot my text tone was set to the Power Rangers beep. Please disregard.
Yeah, that's the alarm
Rangers.
that Macduff was noticing.
Enter Malcolm and Seward.
This way, my lord, the castles gently render the tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble Thanes who bravely in the war the day almost itself professes your and little is to do.
That strike beside us we have met the foes.
Enter Sir the castle.
They exit. Alarum.
Didn't I kill you last scene?
Act 5, Scene 8. Enter Macbeth.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whiles I see lives, the gashes do better on them.
Enter Macduff.
Turn, hellhound! Turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back! My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice
He says, continuing to say words.
is in my sword.
I just can't with you.
Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Fight. Alarum.
Hello everyone, we hope you're enjoying the production. It seems those wily sisters had one last trick up their sleeve, because we discovered that our big climactic showdown completely glitched out in recording. This is, unfortunate, and when we found out, we nearly committed arson. Rest easy in the knowledge that our final showdown had a fully choreographed 5-minute sword fight with pyrotechnics. It was sick as fuck. However, all is not lost, as we do have audio backups, and in lieu of the original recording, we leave you with the theatrical poster for Muppet Treasure Island. Enjoy.
Insert sound effect.
Thou losest labour! As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impresses make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Call back.
The thing the witches said.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed that palter with us in a double sense. They keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet I will try my last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, "Hold, enough!"
They exit, fighting. Alarms. They enter, fighting, and Macbeth is slain.
How are you slain?
Oh no!
You got me.
Plot twist.
Macduff exits, carrying off Macbeth's body. Retreat and flourish.
Hey,
Enter with drum and colors. Malcolm, Seward, Ross, Thanes, and soldiers.
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off and
Go off,
yet
fam.
by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Well, Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived until he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought.
I think you shall say he's dead.
But like, I was getting to that. Jeez. But like a man, he died.
Then he is dead.
That's what I just. Yes. Yes. I am brought off the field. Here, cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he hurt before?
Aye, on the front.
Why, then, God, soldier be he, had I many sons as I have is, I would not with them a fair death, and so it's now is old.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. Let's say he's parted and made a score, and so God be with him. Here comes the new world comfort.
Oh, enter Macduff with Macbeth's head. Ooh.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail,
King of Scotland.
Flourish.
We shall not spend very fucking long before we reckon with your several lovers and make us even with you, my Thames and King's men. Henceforth be earls the first that ever Scotland in such honour named. What's more to do? Which would be plain, planted newly with time, as calling our home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of witchful tyranny, produce forth their cruel ministers. Of this dead butcher, and his fiend-like queen, she was just awful, the fucking worst, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took her own life. We didn't do it. This, and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace and grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to one and all, and each to one Merry Christmas, whom we invite to see us crowned as a scone.
Ooh, I want scones.
Flourish.
Oh, they're kind of important.
And so ends
shit, I had to
the
close
That's
it.
whether you were
the
whether you would be a terrible king.
Wow.
I was the prince?
Yeah, Malcolm's the prince.
Malcolm is
You were the
Duncan.
prince the whole time.
Yeah, the horn dog boy was the prince.
That's why you had so many words.
I understood none of what I said.
Yeah, he left because he figured he was next to get hit. So
The true
that's
prince
why-
was the prince we found along the way.
Scotland
It's fine.
was the prince, yeah.
Thank you guys all for joining us for this
This is fun.
presentation of Macbeth. I hope that blue and red broke appropriately frequently for how humorous you
Yeah.
all were.
Woo!
With that, I think.
Oh, I've never had so much fun getting murdered.